Good morning, traders. This is Brad Matheny. Today is the 4th of September. This is the Plan Your Trade video. Yesterday's move was pretty impressive overall, considering the fact that we were expecting, or the patterns were expecting, a reversal rally. Now, a couple of things to talk about. So we had the holiday on Monday, Labor Day. Monday's Labor Day pattern was a big crush pattern. Crush patterns are normally to the downside. They can be very aggressive. This looks like a crush pattern to me. And I believe what happened is we had a kind of a carryover of this crush pattern through Monday's, obviously holiday trading schedule and into Monday. Now, we are looking at a rally yesterday, which never really materialized, and we're looking at an up, down, up in counter trend mode today. Given the fact that the crush really materialized on Tuesday, and we're looking at this reversal rally, setting up an up, down, up into top resistance and a flat down, it's not that I believe everything shifted out by one day, but I do believe that we're going to be looking at an up, down, up pattern today. So I think we're going to probably see that reversal rally carry into today. Now, it is a counter trend up, down, up pattern. So what I do believe is going to happen is we're going to see that up, down, the reversal rally, I think, is going to blend into today. And I think we're going to see some upward trending today after a moderate open. This up, down, up pattern, I think will settle by the end of the day today, I'm expecting. And then we'll move into a top resistance tomorrow, then a flat down period on Friday. So what we're looking for here is, excuse me, a little morning coffee and clearing my throat. I'm going to go to a 30-minute. And so what I think is going to happen today is we're going to get that up, down, up pattern. And I think we're going to see, we're down here pre-market. We're down here at 549.86. We do have some news today. We came down off of those lows off the close. I think we're going to rally off wherever we start down here. And I think we're going to probably get a moderate rally day back up into this 557, 558 area, somewhere in this area throughout the day. And up, down, up. Then the following day, we're going to probably rally from this area, I would guess, as an open, all the way up, finding a top, 563, 561, and coming back down. It makes sense to me that what is going to happen is we're going to have this rollover, this recovery, this attempt to try to get back to, let me get rid of some of these. The attempt to get back up into this high resistance area. Roughly at about 563.75. And again, this may seem a little aggressive to see this type of recovery, or at least to predict this type of recovery right now. But remember, I think we're nearing kind of a washout period. I think we're nearing this trendy rotation period after consolidating here, blowing through resistance. Sorry, support. You can see this support area here. Let me draw the line across here. So really, we have that support right across here. Make this a dark red and thicker. And I highlighted that yesterday with this double bottom. We tried to find support here just briefly and rolled down through it. Now this 550 area is a very deep type of a double bottoming formation. It's right above the gap window. It is very important that we understand that, we're looking at this double bottom area at the 555 area, and we're holding just above this gap window. Now, can we fill the gap window today? Yeah, you bet we could. There's a chance that we could roll down into that gap window in early trading, sending something like this into play. Maybe. I mean, it might not be quite that like that. It might be like this more, turning around to the upside. But I don't think that gap window is going to play out today. That's my bet. If you gave me a Brad, tell me, what do you think? I'd say that there's maybe a 30 or 40% chance that lower gap window, this yellow area, would completely fill today. It could, but I think I'm looking more at this rejection overnight. I'm looking to see what's going on in the markets. And I'm looking primarily at the fact that we should be moving into this rally up, down, up type of pattern, moving into a top resistance. So I think we're going to be looking at a fairly solid upward bar. Now, I will tell you, if I'm wrong, then we're never going to see this area come close. We're not going to see price ever come up to this 555 area, and we will blow downward from the opening range down into this close price level, down possibly into 544. To me, that would be a fairly an aggressive move to the downside, given where we're at and given the news that we're continuing to get prior to the election. I really do think we stay up in this area or attempt to get back up into this area by the end of this week, early next week. Now, I mean, I've been wrong before. It's difficult to predict. I'm trying to tell you what the market's going to do for 2 or 3 days into the future. And although I think I do a pretty good job of it, there's times I'm not gonna see things as clearly as I do other times. So let's just leave it here, in the sense that if we get below this level into this gap window, then we're probably going to try to fill that gap window going down. And if we don't and we stay above that level, then we're going to be looking at a rally above this level, which is 552, almost 553. And that's going to be our rally period. That's going to be the area where I think we then rally up into that 556, 557, 558 area. Okay, let's take a look at gold real quick. Last night, gold was holding up pretty well. Okay, a couple of things. I highlighted the 2505 area having to be very strong support. We needed to hold above those levels. That's this area here. Looks like I drew this here, trying to mark the 2505 area. I'll mark this in blue. We are now double rejecting off that 2505 area. This has been a fairly solid downward trend for gold. I am looking for gold to find support off of this 2505 area and begin to rally back up out of it. US dollar is moving higher slightly. I think we're going to continue to see the US dollar strengthen back up above 102, maybe 103, which will put pressure on gold. And I want us to realize that gold is going to attempt to shake out this rotation. Let me go to 1 hour. So this is really a moderate pullback. Whoops. Moderate pullback for gold, still trying to hold this level. This is the line that I drew. I'll get rid of it. We're not out of the woods. That's what I'll say here. We're not out of the woods for gold. The 2505 level is being threatened. And there's our support off the 2505 level. So just do this a little bit more cleanly as a line. The good news is we've seen that 2505 level get rejected multiple times. So what we're looking at here is this is support. We rejected off of that near this area, which is a good area to watch as well, because rejection levels can oftentimes play very important roles in what we see and how we see price. The way I look at it is, yeah, the lows are important. Okay. That's really our double bottoming location. But the rejection area, as we would see here, or here, or here, or here, you can see a line and a level coming down like this. This is a rejection channel coming all the way across here. You got this rejection channel here and here. So hypothetically, we have this channel setting up right here. And what I would suggest is that we are looking at gold trying to base and bottom here above 2505. We need to see it move clearly away from this area, and it will likely come on a weaker US dollar, which I'm not sure we're going to see till the end of the week. So we could have quite a bit of consolidation in gold over the next 2 or 3 days. So you can see here how we're down here off of these lows. You can see how we've rolled downward. Okay, we're trying to stay within this range here. And again, if we break down below this 2505 level on a strong close, then we are more than likely going to be trying to come back down here, this 2468, maybe down to this rejection point here at 2412. This is a big move in gold. You don't want to be chasing it to the long side if we move into some correction period. Now, ultimately, we've had our big legs up. We saw our leg one and our leg two, or leg one, leg two. We've consolidated here just below the 2575 area. I think the pressure we're seeing in the markets this week is going to start to subside. Okay, we're into Wednesday after the holiday. It's a short week. As I mentioned to you, I think we're going to move past this up, down, up. This rally phase and this up, down, up pattern are going to persist into essentially a rally phase today, I believe, moving into our top resistance tomorrow. And I think that could be a solid recovery of gold back up into the 2530, 2540 area. We'll have to see how the US dollar plays out. Okay, next, QQQ. And again, QQQ is going to, really play out similar to SPY. Now you can see the Qs have closed the gap, very clearly blew through that gap window. This would be an exhaustion move to the downside, in my opinion. Let me check the Fibonacci from here to here. Yep, right down to a 382 level. You can see it right here. Beautiful 382 support. So now we're looking at support in this area. 382 and 50 support. 618 support should be down here in this area. I just drew it. This would be a very deep move on the Qs. This would be moderate support area at 382 and 50, which means that we're looking potentially at a rollover recovery setting up here, trying to move higher. This big crush pattern kind of blew out some of my expectations related to where I thought the markets would try to hold, and that's okay. I mean, sometimes the market does throw you a bit of a curveball. You got to learn to deal with it. Now my systems were solidly bearish all day yesterday. So, I didn't have to worry too much, even though I was expecting, a bit of a reversal rally. It never really happened. My system stayed bearish the entire time, and we're going to watch and see what happens. But when we get out of this move here, we're clearly into a pullback. The 382 level, 50 level, and 618 level now become critical for us to understand, because as price rolls through this phase, it's going to try to find support in these areas initially. And if it can't, it will run down to the 618 level normally and try to find support. It's very common to see a 50 or a 618 pullback before we begin a new rally phase. So at this point, the 382, reaching the 382 area would likely indicate that we're trying to find support soon. We may not find it until down here or maybe at the 382 level, but we're trying to find it. We've got a sufficient pullback. We've closed this gap. Now we're looking for support and trying to roll back to the upside. Okay, and then lastly, let's take a look at Bitcoin. 5663 roughly. So we have rolled down into that 57,000 area again, where you can see we've got this support channel here. You're really trying to hold up and having some difficulty, you could say. I do believe we're going to be looking at a markets. I think we're going to see the whole markets, including the foreign markets. As you can see, the Nikkei is down 642, German DAX is down 59, UK is down 6.53, very minor. I think we're going to see the same thing happen today. I think we're going to see the US markets really form kind of a base and bottoming rotation here, moving back into next week's rally. And I think this is a pretty big flush out type of a pattern. As you can see, A, B, C, D coming down to a flush out low. And I think we roll back out of this back to the upside. In fact, you can see the same type of a setup here off this rolling out of this channel and then into a flush mode, kind of a washout flush mode back up into this area and then into a rally. So I don't see any dynamics here that are completely breaking down in the US markets. I don't see any dynamic that is causing a potential crash. And I don't really see a potential downward trend in the markets, as I've shown you before, until back over here near the end of September or early October. So I am expecting more of a change of trend in this area where a top will likely occur and roll downward. I don't expect it to be rolling downward here. So we'll see how it plays out. Because I've been known to be wrong before, but trying to give you my best advice, trying to tell you what's going on. And I think this downward pattern on the SPY is really more so related to that crush pattern, not having the ability to wash out this downward momentum on Monday. We had a holiday trading schedule this week. This pattern never really showed up because of the holiday trading on Monday. I think it carried over into Tuesday, and now we're probably going to get this up, down, up pattern. And in order to get that type of an up, down, up pattern, I think we're going to see an up, down, up, and then we're going to see it roll back over into sideways trading. So I would expect the SPY to move possibly up to 556, 557, 558 today, and then roll back downward into 555, 556, possibly into even where this area is here. There we go. Possibly closing right into that area today, because I think that's where real critical support is going to be found. And I think that we're gonna basically try to reset today after yesterday's big crush. Okay, that's it. We will talk to you soon. Hopefully this plays out well for us today. And again, let's just play what is in front of us. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. We're going into the end of the year. We've only got about 60 days left before the election. It could be very interesting how things play out. Okay, guys, talk to you later.